I'll be talking about things I wish I knew when it comes to Indian runner ducks and how to take care of them. I got Booby 12 weeks ago and she was just a week old. She still seems to be a female dog, but she sounds different and is slightly larger than Lily, whom I got at 4 weeks old. Unlike Lily, who has never lived indoors with me, Booby has. Despite being a bit cautious and skittish, they do follow me around and come closer when I'm not pursuing them. Booby acted like a typical pet indoors, but unfortunately, their frequent droppings make that challenging. It's unfortunate how they're typically raised. They're kept with other ducklings without a mother to guide them. In the wild, ducks are quite smart, and mothers even feign injury to protect their young, who listen to their warnings. I've tried to give them love and attention, but they seem to need more of my presence that I can provide. My bunny used to act similarly outdoors, but she was more approachable and cuddly indoors. I'm working on changing this by picking them up and petting them as much as possible to help them get accustomed to it. During their early development until they reach around 7 weeks of age, it's important to feed them at least 5 times a day due to their rapid growth and high hunger levels. I provided them with a special mix for breakfast, followed by a variety of foods such as grains, seeds, bananas, green peas, rice, tomatoes, salads, and plenty of snails and insects. Now they particularly enjoy green peas, watermelon, bananas, passion fruit I have in my garden, passiflora, and cucumbers. In the summer, when snails are less available, they tend to graze on grass more frequently.
Ready.
Ducks thrive on natural grass and weeds, particularly enjoying clover and dandelion leaves, which are related to rucola. Try not to mow your grass too frequently and leave some longer for them. I usually place the water dish near where I feed them, close to the leafy plants, so they can eat while drinking. The paper bin came handy and is allowing both of them to eat at the same time.
Evo ovdje, uzmi, dole. Evo tu.
When Bubi was a baby, I would give her a warm bath every day. It's important to remember the dogs are very sensitive to perfumes and detergents, so I made sure the water was completely clean, just warm. This was necessary because until they're about 5 weeks old, they need warmth since they lack the fat and proper feathers to keep them warm. I bathed her not just to keep her clean while living in our apartment, but mainly to help relieve the itchiness from her molting feathers. Now, they manage that much better on their own. They become more attached to you than you might anticipate if you show them love and attention. Ruby is very accustomed to my presence and expects me to be around, especially in the mornings. If I'm not there, she tends to make a scene. Lily has picked up this behavior from Booby. When I'm inside working, they need to see me through the window to feel at ease. They often lie on my plants near the entrance to be as close to me as possible. I had to put up a small fence to keep them away since the plants were suffering from too much waste and their tendency to lie on them. However, now that they can fly, the fence isn't very effective. At least they aren't coming up the stairs anymore.
Dođi vamo, Bubi. Brzo, tu. Bubi, tu. Lezi, lezi, Lili, lezi. Bubi, Bubi, brzo. Dođi vamo. Dođi vamo. Bubi, brzo. Tako. Lezi dole, lezi. Budi dobra. Sačekajte me. Devojke, morate da sačekate. Čuješ? Moram da radim nešto.
They will consume your
Ne
edible
čuješ?
plants. They tend to eat many of my edible flowers, including sweet Allison, marigold, calendula, Veronica
Čuješ, mala?
speciosa,
Devojke,
snapdragon, they
Lili,
love a
Bubi.
lot, and many more.
Budite dobre.
If your yard is uneven and
Budite
retains
tu,
water,
okej?
creating a pond, they will likely expand it since they enjoy ponds and mud. I used to think these dogs couldn't
Nećeš sad da
fly, but
letiš.
now that they're
Bravo!
adults, I'm noticing more and more that they can. Mine can definitely fly, and I'm a bit worried that they might
Bravo,
fly over
bre.
the fence
Uspjele
while I'm
ste.
on vacation. Someone will feed them, obviously, but who knows what they might do. Booby is now 13 weeks old and is changing her feathers again, which I thought would have stopped by now. She sounds different from Lily, and I'm surprised she isn't a drake since there are no signs of a curled feather tail yet. Many people say that ducks don't need a pool, but I disagree. They really enjoy having one, and it's a shame not to provide
Bubi,
them with one if you can.
Lili. Lili. Mala Lili. Yes. Malena.
They both entered this pond once and they couldn't get out, and because of that, they don't enter ever again. They're afraid of it. So, for that reason, I try making a new one, and I made it in a completely different way from the first one. The first one was more complicated. I had to mix sand with cement, and there were a lot of layers and some liquid I mixed with water to help protect it from water going through to make it more resistant to water. And then later I put this
Ti
three layers
šepuriš,
of
je
this
li ti
paint, special
mali?
paints,
Dajte ti
paint
šepuriš.
for tanks, which I had
A?
to mix. There were two separate buckets I had to mix together and use them immediately. Whereas now the second pond I made it in a simpler way. I experimented basically. I did it in my own way. If you can't provide a pond, at least have a water bucket for them to dip their heads in and ensure the water is clean. I have water available in several spots, including jars and smaller buckets that collect rainwater around the shed. I recommend having water in multiple locations so they can easily access it. To prevent holes in mud, pay attention to your lawn and where water accumulates. You can fill in low spots with soil or stones. I experimented with different materials like hay, various leaves, and wood shavings. I found wood shavings to be the most effective option because they absorb moisture from the wet droppings, helping to dry them out. Additionally, they work well with the deep litter method, where you simply sprinkle a bit over the areas with droppings each night before bed. Some people let it accumulate for 3 months, but I prefer to do it more frequently, usually not leaving it for more than a month. Wood shavings also take up less space compared to other materials, which tend to accumulate more quickly.
Wherever they spend the most time, you'll have plenty of shit, so you'll have to clean your shoes as well very often. I always clean the grass as well, very well, because I don't want it to die. Plus, this is not real grass. I mean, it's everything but grass, which is good because that's what they eat. They won't eat the golf course grass, or the grass that many people tend to prefer seeing in the garden. They like eating clover, the wild rucola, or the dandelion. So I have plenty of that here. At the moment it's cut, but you can see some dandelion leaves, and this is what they eat, yeah. They love laying under the beach bed, and then of course I'll have plenty of poop there. Well, sometimes I clean a few times a day. If I'm not here, then I'll clean at the end of the day, because that's a must. At least once a day it's a must.
Based on my observations, they have quite distinct personalities. Bubi dislikes certain foods that Lily enjoys, while Lily is gentle and kind. Bubi can be a bully and occasionally selfish. Bubi tends to be more confident and less fearful, whereas Lily is quite talkative. Did you know that dogs possess a remarkable ability to recover from trauma? After experiencing a fight or flight situation, they're able to shake off the trauma, allowing them to move on from the event both mentally and physically.